come you've actually stayed with it for the last 5 or 6 years?
Because I believe in it in a way. I mean, punk rock has gone on now for 6 years. And there must be something there to still keep it alive, which are mostly all these bands.
I mean, despite all your doubts, then, what is it that you actually believe in? What specifically draws you to it still?
I believe that things still can be changed. Because I think that most people tend to say, oh yeah, punk rock, that's gone, that died with the Sex Pistols, yak yak. I don't think that's true. I think that... Well, I say this...
Go on.
Can't. I think that punk rock now is stronger than it ever was. And there's not more demand, but...
What, more reason for it?
Yeah. Like, everything, like at the moment, seems to be going really, like, down. Everything's, like, really bad. All the unemployment, all this and that. And then I think with punk rock, you do not tend to escape into a little world of your own because you're still reminded of all the bad things that are going on. But, like, being involved, like, if you're, like, someone into, like...
Well, when punk started in 76, 77, it was... The two tenets of it were supposed to be, well, everything's got so boring, let's make something a little bit exciting again. Let's have a rock and roll that's exciting and a bit down to earth. And also, a lot of those bands were also saying, well, look how bad the situation is for young people, look at the unemployment and things like that. People say that punk's outdated. Well, I don't see how it can be, because now everything got really boring again. You watch a couple of pops and it's all full of rubbish, you know, it's all sort of android stuff or cocktail swigging posers. And you look at the unemployment, it's 3 million times, you know, 2 million more people on the dole. Everything's got worse. The reasons for punk being are anything much more extreme now, much more urgent now than it ever was.
So you don't just see it as mere sort of punk revivalism, almost?
No, it's a pretty sort of, you know, it means more than that, and it should do. It should, though, punk should mean entertainment, and it should mean rebellion, and it should mean the two together. It should be protest and dance, you know, the two together.
So I mean, when did you actually decide that punk was not dead?
Years ago. It never died. Suppressed. The music papers just ignored it as another fashion. But like, there's that many punks that they couldn't ignore it for long. Just the power of the music seemed really, really brilliant. It was like there's no other like music like it. It could make you can go to a gig and you feel really, really good. For years, like the first 2 years, like we got called like a fascist band. Like it was really hard for us to get gigs because we used to wear like swastika armbands and all that. Because like, it was just us like dress how you want, but it was not what we do. We like being a Nazi or fuck all. But as soon as you get labelled like a fascist band or an NF band, like nobody wants to know you.
Fascism's just a load of crap like most politics are.
Here we come, America! Yes, we're on our way!
Oh, I can't see how the hell they could ever put fascism with punk. Punk is freedom, fascism is inflicting rule. Punk should be a totally individual thing, alright, so there's gangs of punks, but they're all totally individual people, their own beliefs, and they stand strong on their own. They don't need some dictatorship to tell them what to do. Someone called me Bondage because I used to wear a little suede miniskirt with bondage straps, so I became Becky Bondage.
Stop much you're in bondage.
Well, that's just telling everybody, isn't it? Yeah, I am. Well, I was very much at first, like the whip and all that was because blokes always dominated women, so I thought I'm going to dominate men instead. She was strict massage, someone's going to be a punk, but to me punk is totally control, you know, envelopes everything. That's what it is to me. punk can be followed out of boredom. You want to do something, you want to belong to something. In this society, it rejects you a lot. If you haven't got a job, you're rejected. So you've got to find a crowd to belong to feel someone, to be an individual.
Punks can be range from office workers to dustbin men, to school kids. From the day you were born, you could be a punk, you know. It's just an attitude. You just got to have it or you haven't. You know.
Throwing the ball, right, I catch it.
I mean, punk to me wasn't just going out and disgusting people. It was having fun, you know. That's what it all means. Still having a laugh now. You know, gigs, they were the high points, you know, going to gigs and enjoying yourself. The crowds are more appreciative now. They'll soon let you know if you're crap.
They shine. I'm about to lose mine. It's a time to kill. Take a look at my hair. I'm the joker in the pack. I'm the joker in the pack. That's all. Spot so chic. I made them laugh a lot. I made them accept me. Secrets are spoken. I'm about to draw in the dust. With a game bravado, I'm taken into their trust. I'm a joker in the pack. Joker in the pack. I'm a joker in the pack. Shine. I'm on a smile. Look about my smile. Because jokers are wild. I'm a joker in the pack. I'm a joker in the pack. I'm a joker in the pack.
Rowan, you are without a doubt the biggest wanker I've ever come across as a musician. I'm afraid I'm going to have to sack you here and now. Where do you live, Cardiff? Collect your train fare at the door. Thank you very much. Next. Sacking geezers out of order. Useless.
Worse than
So
useless.
where you found him from?
Incompetent amateur.
36. This is on fire. This is the way to make records.
Jimi Hendrix from Monterey, the film, which opens at the screen on the Green in London on July the 1st.
Well, I think that even since Captain Sensible's been at #1, we haven't seen any change in his behaviour. He's still the same old slob he ever was. He's done at the pubs and the clubs, and he's still drinking at the bar with anyone who wants to drink with him. There's been no change of attitude in his part. He's even got the same phone number he always had.
If it's going to mean anything, it's got to get across to a mass of people and get outside the sort of ghetto it's in now. And I think that some of the bands coming up now have got the ability to do that.
Who would you see? Which groups?
I think the Business, the Blitz, the Addicts. I mean, bands of that calibre have got the songs and they've got the sus to get across. I mean, it's still the same old principles. It's still having a laugh and having a say, that old cliche. But you know, it still means something. It's always been rebel rock and roll in one sense or another, and I think that's what punk is a continuation of. And as long as there's people who want to hear that sort of fast, exciting rock music, and as long as there's like things to protest about, like the massive unemployment and the destruction of the health service and stuff like that, then there's going to be a place for some sort of protest punk. Whether it calls itself something different or not, it don't really matter. 76,
77, it was terribly fashionable to be punk rocker, to be seen to be buying your clothes in the King's Road where they were selling bin liners. But 20 quid a time. I think now it's much more honest because it's unfashionable. Therefore, you haven't got all those people who were just there for the sake of the fashion. What you've got now are people who are genuinely involved in it, interested in it, love it. It's like a family atmosphere now.
But I mean, how do you see the interrelationship between punks and skins? I mean, which definitely does seem to exist, although it almost seems that the media tries to put them against each other.
Yeah, the media does, but I don't think it's working. The only difference, I mean, they've got the same taste in music, and the only other difference I can see is the way they dress.
I mean, do you think the skins, the supposed bad reputation of the skins is deserved, or is that a media thing?
No, I mean, they're boisterous, but no more than anybody else. They're no more boisterous than anybody else. I mean, the media seems to like a music that doesn't have anything to say. It doesn't tell them anything. It's just a tune they can hum to. You just hum some catchy little chorus. And if it's got something to say, a lot of people don't really want to listen to it. Because they know it's there, but they don't like being told it's there.
It makes them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Our music's about the real things that happen, real problems that do occur, not the ideal problems or the ideal world that these other groups sing about. Yeah, it's all very well to sing about getting down at the disco with your baby. But what happens about the fight outside when you're coming home because some geezer, you've looked at him. That's the real thing, but they don't sing about it, see?
Yeah, I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of discos in London you can go to every night of the week. But for punk groups to play, or somewhere where people can go to see punk groups, you've got, 2 nights a week, if you're lucky. I mean, it rules the airwaves, disco music, rules the charts. We're not saying that smash the disco's actually up. We're saying, for Christ's sake, give something else a listen.
You got on the studio winner. Check out David Darcy.
I'm not going to tell people how to run their lives. We're just trying to, help people think for themselves by what we're saying.
But how much do you think people listen to your lyrics? I mean, do you think they actually listen to them?
Oh, I think they do, yeah. Yeah, the amount of kids that come up to us and talk about them and this, that and the other,
There's a lot of things need to be done with society as a whole. We get the people to work together. rather than against one another. Get a community spirit back. I think it'd be pretty good.
How do you think you'd do that?
Just people working together. I mean, at our concerts we get all different sorts of people, not just skinheads. You get punks and just ordinary blokes. And if they can all go out for an evening together and have a good time, then they can translate that onto a bigger scale and possibly make a better society as a whole.
People automatically seem to think that skinheads cause trouble and problems.
Yeah, all the time. Like, most of the skinheads I know, they don't want to get nicked. They're always being harassed and that. Like, if someone sees a skinhead down the road, they usually stop, move over to the side, they cross the road. It's just what the papers write in the papers. People believe what's in the papers and what's on their telly.
So do you think people are intimidated because of the way skinheads look, like, especially when they're in a group together?
Yeah, I suppose I am.
I mean, you look quite hard, you know, and I don't even know if you are, you know, but just like to look at, you look quite hard. I mean, does that sort of please you? Do you feel good that you look hard?
I'm really bothered by it.
Or do you think skins, like, do you think that's that people do actually like to sort of look tough?
Some people do like skinheads about 14, 15. They hang about with kids about 18. Just to be big and show off to their mates and that.
You can always be a skinhead.
But it looks like I'm going to have to be, doesn't it?
So you've got no choice though, there's no turning back.
No.
I mean, do you think that in England things will eventually turn to a violent solution? Do you think things will get violent in England? As violent as during the riots?
Yeah, I think they will.
What's that?
It's just that people are sort of all out against skinheads and punks and everything else that ain't normal. Like Soul Boys, right? When it was the South End and that, it was them who were starting the trouble because they come at us with deck chairs and that. People don't understand it, they think it's skinheads that's starting all the trouble.
What have you been in the papers? Have people talked about you and people you've been with that causing problems?
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as like actual sort of politics in the country, I mean, do you think that will get violent?
Yeah, I think it will.
Is that because of like unemployment and everything like that?
Well, the crime rate's gone up, isn't it? People have got to survive, so they're going to crime.
Do you think the government realises that?
Yeah, they do, but they ain't doing nothing about it.
So when did you get your first tattoo?
I was 13.
How old are you now?
18.
Which was it, your first one?
I don't know, that swallow.
But I mean, that bloke, Mark Shane you go to, is he regarded as a professional tattooist in fact?
We ain't got his shop in that, but I suppose he is regarded as a professional.
I mean, do you think that did it change your personality at all, having the tattoos done? Did it change you as a person?
No.
I mean, are you not worried about the ones on your face?
I forget they're there usually. It's just people when they remind me.
What's how people react to you?
Yeah, sort of walking down the street and everyone just stands there, stares at you. The people laughing and things like that. Most people cross the road if they see me.
And did it definitely change the way people reacted to you then?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think people are intimidated by you because of it a bit.
It affects people differently. Some people, yes, they get tattoos because they want to see themselves in a different light, or relate to other people in a different light. But some people, no, they would consider it a fairly personal thing, you know, and something they just like to have.
What do you think to it, Steve?
Eh?
What do you think to it?
Well, the colours come out really well. I saw them.
What do you think of it, Mark? Do you think it's one of your better pieces?
It's come out quite well, considering he's got one healing. Yeah.
Closet, come out of the hole, come out of the woodwork, come into the fold. Rebels and fighters, a license to kill. Unite with the bandits, stand on the hill. Open your windows, open your doors, open your minds to a freedom of thought. Viva la revolution! Viva la revolution! from the rich man's caste. This revolution won't be the last. Viva la revolution. Viva la revolution. Viva la revolution. Viva la revolution.
How long have you been doing nothing for?
Last 2 years.
What, even during your non-punk periods?
Yeah.
Is it crucial for punk?
No, I was at college for 2 years.
Which college were you at?
I was in Blackpool College for 2 years, doing A-levels.
Did you get them?
Of course I did. I could go to university if I wanted to, but I can't be bothered.
Well, you should. You get a grant.
No, I get more on a dole.
Well, don't you think that's socially irresponsible?
I don't really care. It's their problem. If they want to give me £52 a week, they can. I don't care.
Don't you work?
No, won't give us a job because of the way we look.
Yeah? Is that a fact?
Yeah, that's a definite fact.
What have people said to you?
Just your estate, we won't employ you looking like that. Change and we'll employ you and we won't change.
What sort of jobs were those?
Anything at all. I've got 7 O-levels and they still won't give me a job. So it's just because of the way you look.
Oh, in Italy, not many punks.
Did you get given a hard time looking like in Italy?
Yeah.
Did you look like that in Italy?
No, it's not good in Italy.
You ran away from the army.
Yeah.
Well, you ran away from the army?
Yeah, but I stay here, live here now.
What would happen if you went back?
I like driving in my car.
What would happen if you went back? What would happen if you went back to Italy?
I'm not possible to come back.
Well, it's not possible for you to go back.
Because I'm in prison.
What, because of your parents? Or because you'd be arrested?
Yeah.
You'd be arrested?
Yeah.
What would they do to you?
Hey?
What would they do to you? Put you in jail?
Yeah, 5 years in jail.
What do you do? So what do you do over here?
I get a job.
What, do you work now?
No, I work maybe Tuesday.
What doing?
Cleaning the room in the hotel.
What do you do?
What? Nothing. Little as possible.
What, you're on the dole?
Aye.
How have you had your hair like that?
Well, about a year.
Did you get given a hard time?
Yeah.
What sort of people give you a hard time for it?
Coppers and things like that, I don't like it.
Yeah?
And like, I've been in care all my life and I think that's why I'm like I am now.
Well, you've been in care?
Yeah.
Why was that?
So I wanted to do the things I wanted to do and people wouldn't let me, so I got put in care. I think that's why I'm like this now, because I'm rebelling against everyone. The kids that think that you have to glue sniff to be a punk are just stupid. But when you say about glue sniffing, people always put it to the punks, that the punks glue sniff, but it's not. I mean, when I was in care, this girl, she come in and you know, she looked really nice and all dressed up and everything. And I was talking away and she goes, and they goes, there's a big group of her, she goes, they were asking who glue sniffed and who doesn't. They goes, do you sniff? And she goes, yeah. And we were really shocked that she sniffed, right? And then I tell them, they turn around to me and they goes, do you sniff? And I goes, yeah. And they goes, oh, that's not surprising, seeing as though you're a punk.
Well, I mean, I don't think that punks necessarily do glue sniff. I mean, by no means all the ones I've met do. But I mean, how many of your friends do it? Do you still do it?
Yeah. Nearly all my mates sniff.
Yeah?
You know, I mean, people say to me, oh, you're going to kill yourself, but it's my life. And if I want to live like this, I will.
I want to say to people who are reading what I'm saying about punk that it doesn't mean just dressing like the people whose records you buy dress. It means thinking for yourself and actually, like, if you're a punk, I mean, why aren't you playing in a band? Why aren't you writing your own fanzine? Why aren't you doing something? I mean, if you feel upset about the system, why aren't you going out and protesting about it? Why aren't you on the right to work march? You know, that's what punk means. It means fighting back. It don't mean sitting down like and getting stoned, man, and all that sort of stuff. It don't mean that at all. It means going, bang, we don't want this, we're going to fight it. Or it means forming a band and saying, having a good time, you know. You've got to do something. It's not enough. Punk isn't about being a passive consumer.
Oh yes, you're in the army, and I fight for your die. Oh yes, you're in the army, and I die for your die. And the boy, you're a vampire, like another people's blood. Like a boy, you're on the moonlight, and your fight is covered in mud. Soldier boy, you're in the army now. Soldier boy, you're in the army now. Oh yes, you're in the army, and the guys for your die. Oh yes, you're in the army, and the good time for you to boy. And the boy, you're a vampire, like another people's blood. And the boy, you're on the moonlight, and your fight is going to mad. Soldier boy, you're in the army now. Soldier boy, you're in the army now.
There's more punk bands now than I think there's ever been in independent charts. You have a look, you know. And it's got more kind of, it's changed a lot because it's all to be fast and loud and hardcore now, you know. But which probably change again. It'll probably get back to what it used to be, like in '77, you know.
Soldier boy, you're in the army now. Soldier boy, you're in the army now.
Just because it's a music fashion, it's got something to say. That's what it started out as, and it always will be the same like that.
Well, do you think that original spirit's still there? And it isn't just
Yeah, of course it is. It's still there, yeah. I mean, why would people form punk bands? It's not a fashion. Punk's not a fashion.
It's a cult now.
If punk was a fashion, punk would be dead.
It's a cult figure.
You change to a futurist band, you know. But if you believe in what you're doing, you'll stay a punk band.
You're in the army now. Soldier boy, you're in the army now. Oh yes, you're in the army now.
Well, I got into punk in the same way as anybody else in 1976, 77, going to gigs, being one of the punters. When I started working Melody Maker 2 years ago, I was working with all different types of bands, a little bit of everything really, and I find always that the punk bands were the most sincere, the most determined, and the most cooperative people that I worked with. That's really what made me decide to specialise in punk music.
So you empathised with it a lot more than
Certainly,
the other
certainly, yes.
movements that have come along.
Certainly. And there's a family atmosphere about punk rock which is wonderful. You can be accepted at any level in it. You know, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're into the bands and you're into the music, nobody cares.
I mean, how different do you think it's been from all these other tribal divisions that have emerged over the last couple of years, like rockabilly or jazz funk or whatever?
Well, maybe I'm not too qualified to talk about that, but I think maybe some of those have been contrived, whereas punk has thrived and survived through some of the hardest times that any movement has ever had. It's still there. It's bigger than it ever was. It seems to me a way of life and not a movement. It doesn't seem like a tribal division to me. It seems like a way of life.
still. It's about you lot and us lot, all of us. It's called What About Future?
Well, in London, the punks and the skins fight all the time, but you go to Manchester, and everyone gets together. There's no trouble at all.
We're doing Florida warning in the end. If people fight against you, and they're rebelling against you, if people hit you no matter what they are, what shape they are, what head they are.
It seems everyone's at each other's throats all the time. It's like the old football thing, taken to just another phase.
None of us hate each other. I don't hate any of you.
Is that actually plaited, that bit?
What bit?
Bits on top.
No, they're not.
But you don't knot them every day?
No, they stay like that. They're practically the same. When I wake up, all I do is rearrange them into a reasonably stupid formation. Something that will make the people laugh.
Does it pick up radio waves?
Yeah.
Is it lacquered?
Transmits its own signal. Yeah. We put all kinds of shit in there.
What's the best lacquer?
It's not lacquer, it's soap.
What sort of soap? How do you do it?
Get lots of soap in your hand and you go.
What, cakes?
Like
What, soap suds? Or?
No, you just. Yeah, you get. Hang on. Bit like that, right? And you dunk into the water and you go slob it and then you go bing, 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 and you pull them up. And you slam it all over the place generally.
Do you think it's healthy for the hair?
Oh, it's undoubtedly unhealthy for the hair because every time you wash it, once every 6 months or whatever, it falls out. So I've got less and less.
That's why you
radiation poisoning. No,
back?
that's radiation poisoning. That is. I came in there.
You have to be careful actually. There's probably a few nuclear power stations near there.
Yeah, it's something to do with that. It's something to do with the soap as well. But it does. It makes all your hair fall out. Don't try it. I wouldn't.
Is there a dandruff problem?
Yes.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Nah. This side is worse.
That says awful. That side. Yeah. How much is in that?
5 gallons.
So what's that? 5
Chuck glass over town?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get some.
Yeah, get some glass.
You'll find glass in glass.
Get those cups and that.
Go on then, let's look a bit. How's your father, isn't it?
Oh no.
I've got a hangover. Should we get a bowl?
Yeah,
we've got to get a bowl.
We can get a bowl.
I reckon we'll
We haven't got a bowl here anymore though.
Saucepan.
Yeah, saucepan have to do.
Hey, you got any cards? Do you know any glasses?
No,
if they play cards, you only one pint back. Oh my god. Oh my god. Do you think it's better?
Dirty bastard. No.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I've got that one. I've got to keep up with them. I expect that relaxes you actually. Or refreshes you at least.
It doesn't refresh you. It just makes it
Fucking yes, you bitch.
No, here we go.
How much did it cost that?
How much? It's 70. You can see it because it's chewing this stuff before you swallow it.
What's that?
Smell it. Chewing it. That's Mr. Punjabi. I reckon when he's putting orange on vinegar.
Punjabi. Point for Jim then. Oh, it stinks, that bastard stuff. No.
I reckon he's putting something in it to keep buying.
Fucking onks. Where'd you get it from?
Hey Chris, where's your bar? It looks very thick actually.
Yeah, I reckon it's some in Punjab. We keep growing barrels. I think he's thrown something in it. Well,
what's
we'll have to go around.
Dead rats.
It's in that box over there. Maybe a bowl.
Dead rats.
It's a dead rat. What, you feel ill already? Already on first point?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Been out of practice for a while.
Oh, fuck you, I hate cider.
Ooh.
Look how thick it is. Ah.
Chris on the
Where the fuck is this from? Yeah, I'm puff. I'm going to just drink the half.
You're fucking woman.
It's quite a good one. What's that say?
Disorder.
Slice punks on meat hooks. What's it like?
Oh, the top. Read the top.
Rotting flesh in Hiroshima.
The top's the best.
What's the bit at the top? I haven't seen.
Oh, I'm the member of the I Humped My Grand.
I'm the member of the I Humped My Grand. I can't read what it says. I can't read what it says.
I'll read it to you. It says, I'm a member of the I Humped My Grand gang. And it's got bang in brackets as well.
So you put that on. That's the original. You inherited that. Was the job?
Oh no, I did all this.
Did you?
Yeah. because I inherited the jacket, and it's a bit smellier.
You inherited it?
Yeah, I did a burglary on a house not very long ago, well, a couple of months ago, when I was really drunk, a bad one, and I left this jacket in the house, and that's how I got caught. It's been rotting in a police station in a plastic bag for about the last 3 months.
So what, are you on bail for that?
No, I'm on probation, 2-year probation order.
Well, they didn't send you down again?
No, so I was surprised. I thought I was going to go down for about 6 months or something. But I was lucky, really. But I haven't been seeing my probation officer lately, and she says to me that if I miss one more time seeing her again, that she's going to recommend a custodial sentence.
How old are you?
19.
What, I mean, does this thing, is this sort of thing likely to happen when you're pissed?
Well,
Doing burglary?
no, not anymore. Not anymore. It's not.
Did you actually nick anything?
Yeah.
What, you only have two?
No, video recorder, stack stereo system, about 8 bottles of liqueurs, bottles of whiskey, spirits, video cassettes, tape deck, jelly molds, packets of jelly, and all sorts of bad things. We left a trail of all the stuff that we stole, because it was up in these woods in Nailsea, a little town just outside Bristol. And we left a trail of everything that we stole all the way down to our hideout. And they had police sniffer dogs up there, and apparently the dogs were going at that, trying to follow us, but we were so drunk.
And you left your jacket as well?
Yeah, a bad one, organised crime. I didn't really know one, and I moved into this flat with this girl called Laura down at Albany Road in St Paul's, and I sort of lived in her room on the floor for about a month or so, and she moved out and I had a room to myself, but it was so depressing then. I sat there for about, well, every single night, because I didn't know anyone in Bristol. I sat there every single night with my bottle of 5 pints milk, and now and again having a couple of spoonfuls on it, reading the same book over and over again about 30 times. In the end I got into Clockwork Orange, I was reading that over and over again, and in the end I got to sort of such a state of depression that I slashed my wrists up and all that. But it seemed like a good idea. I think it was just to get attention to myself really at the time, you know. So I thought, this is living, so I thought, right, I'm off. So I left my bed sit, sold all my belongings and just moved into a squat, and ever since then I've just been squatting around with them a lot. And then Amibix moved up with us, well, moved to Bristol about 2 years ago when we were living in a squat round at West Grove, and one of the people from our squat met them, brought them back, and ever since then we've just been sort of living together, falling over together, having a good laugh generally. Yeah, just generally having a good laugh, like, living it up.
to an extent, we're very lucky, right? Because for some reason, people like us. Well, God knows why. I've no idea why they like us. But as long as they continue to like us, or a certain amount of people continue to like us and buy our records, I'm sure there'll be every reason for this band to continue. Because, like, you know what I mean? It's better than working, isn't it?
The reason people still like us is probably because we've been, like, turned over, ripped off, had all the cash stolen, which we've made it very public as well that this goes on. And I think our audience sort of believe us, and if you like, relate to it, because they're as skint as we are. You know, and they see us in the pub, and they see we don't have like huge wads of notes and arrive in limousines, and I think they can relate to us. I'd relate to us if I was, Joe Normal.
I'd love the Damned.
I'd try and get a job in the Damned if I wasn't in it.
All of Monday, it's on the Olympics. When you leave energy, it's also on the Olympics. All the goodness of weed has complete Olympics. That's why we the beast is complete Olympics. Wow!
Listen, Punk bought me this beer, so who gives a shit?
Wake up and live, don't mind the rainy patter, and you will find it's mind over matter. Dark clouds will break up if you will wake up and dee-da-dee ha ho hee. Wake up and live, show the stuff you're made of, just follow through. What are you afraid of? You'll try it, won't you? Say, why don't you wake up and live? Wake up and live, come out of your shell. Hey fella, find your place in the sun, come out of your shell. Say fella, just be a go-getting son of a gun. Whoa, wake up and live, if Lady Luck is yawning up on your toes. A better day is dawning, don't let up, get up, and yeah, you gotta give yourself a shake up. Yeah, you gotta wake up and live.